So my name is Orson Prince Charles. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I play high school ball there. I'm from a single parent household for my mom. So my mom's side is Dominican and my dad's side is Nigerian. I have one younger brother and he's 23, so we're 10 years apart. I ended up playing at the University of Georgia back in '09 from 2011 and then got drafted in 2012 to the Cincinnati Bengals and then played 9 years. So I played for the Bengals, New Orleans, Detroit, Kansas City, and Cleveland. And then my last year was 2012. And then I transitioned into owning my own construction company. So I've been dabbling in that since 2012. And then now one of my main focus is gearing towards my nonprofit. So I first got introduced to Christ when I was 12. All the way up into my younger years, I was really being lukewarm. And I was battling with the world, I was battling with myself. But then at the end of the day, I was battling my assignment, my purpose. So what led to me really taking my life seriously before I get to baptism was an event that happened 2 years ago in July. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here to tell this story. So I went to the NFL Combine, talked to 21 teams, and in every one of those meetings, they want to know who you are because they're about to invest millions of dollars into you. So I sat in front of all the GMs and the head coach, hey, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party. And that was completely true because I went to college on a mission and I had my family dependent on me. I just turned 21, so I was like, you know what, let me go and hang out with I'll hang out with my boys because that's my class. Got late. All my people was drunk. I was the more sober one. I was like, okay, well, I'll take you home. Cop pulled me over, go in. He said he smells alcohol, so he wanted me to do a breathalyzer. The legal point is .09 or .08. I blew a .09. And I was like, hey, sir, like, I apologize. I get somebody to come pick me up. Like, I'm about to get ready for the draft, the NFL draft. Like, I'm projected to go high. He was like, hey, Orson, I know who you are. You'll be fine. We still got to book you. Go to jail, and then I get out the next morning. UGA bailed me out, and my phone just blowing up because they had already posted on ESPN. It was like a big news. Call from my mom, and she's crying. It was like, what did I do to fail you as a parent? I was like, Mama, why do you say that? Because she said I had to leave work because everybody was talking about it. That hurt. Grandma called and said the same thing. Like, she was like, oh, how could you, this, that, and the third. That hurt. It wasn't until I called my brother and I had to explain to him the situation because he was in high school at this time. And I told him, hey, don't follow my footstep. I made a mistake. And at that moment, I hit rock bottom. I ran back to my church and I was like, hey, Pastor, I need your help to get out because I was low. And I felt like I not only let him down as my pastor, I let my family down, but I let my Christ down. And that really hurt. Like, yes, I was still new in my walk, but I knew better. The second incident was like a road rage situation. I was going back to school because after every NFL season, I would go back to UGA to get my degree. So once again, I get in trouble again, and then I had that feeling. So then we go to a trial, and the sheriff comes into the office with me and my lawyer, and he says, Orson, I just want to say I apologize for arresting you. We did not know that he had a road rage incident, a domestic violence incident, and we did not know that this is not his first time. And even after that road rage incident, I was still able to play when really, like, you get one or two situations, you're out of the league. So this last incident happened 2 years ago in July. Went home for my grandma's 70th birthday. My boy got a coaching job. I was real close to him. So I was like, you know what? Hey, I'll come out for a second, celebrate, she'll hug you. I was actually really going to say a prayer for him, but I was still lukewarm. And we get into altercation with a parking spot. I communicate with the lady. I was like, hey, like, we waited for this parking spot. Like, can you move? She was like, no, you good, you good. And I was like, hey, yeah, no, I'm great, but we was waiting and we're only going to be here for a while. Like, let us just get this parking spot. So next thing, I see her partner in the passenger seat kind of reach down. So instantly, my mind is like, oh, like, you got to defend yourself. So I adjust myself. So if she had a gun and was going to shoot, she had to shoot her partner and not me. And I pulled my gun out and I was like, hey, be careful with your next move. I got one in the head. And she goes down and she pulls up and she pulled a badge. 5 minutes later, and it's one way, one way, one way, one way. When I tell you I got to the middle and there was cops on every street and they had their gun out on every street, and I just stood there. And at that time I was like, Father, I apologize. I'm sorry. Please get me out of this. And I promised you I surrender. And they ended up convicting me with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I had my permit wasn't valid. They charged me with entry, and I had a little weed on me. Like I said, I was still lukewarm. So I had got charged with that, and then come to find out, they ended up just giving me probation for a year. So it's all these things where it's like, hey Ruben, when you gonna tighten up? When you gonna tighten up? And I went to my pastor back home, and he was like, hey, he saved you again. When you gonna get serious? And that's when I was like, you know what, I'm ready to get serious. So after that, I went to rehab for like 30 days, and that's when my journey really came alive. After that incident, you know, I had to go into real thought, like, hey, oh, what's going on? Like, is this how you want to be remembered? Like, are you going to be alive to raise your kids and be that, you know, father and husband that you want to be because you wasn't raised with a father? I was journaling. I was heavy in my prayer. I was talking to my pastor back home because he was getting me out because it was a real dark place. And then I was like, you know what? I give up. Like, I'm not going to continue to keep doing it my way. I want to do it your way. And whatever that looks like, I give you full reins. And then I started to change the people I was hanging out with. I started to stop doing the things that I was doing, as far as smoking, drinking, and, you know, just having sex with anybody that looked good or was like telling me good things. Like, I stopped and I cut all that out, and I just started to slowly but surely started to see that change. I read a book from my mentor, and he was like, hey, create a prayer list. And then back it up with scripture, and then do that daily. Spend time with him daily. So spending time with him in the morning was never an issue, but I wouldn't really be strategic on how I was praying, and I wasn't really backing it up with scripture. And while I was doing that, like, things just started opening up. Like, me really having a found passion for my nonprofit with this youth, and then really me understanding that what I went through and everything that I went through wasn't for me, it was for somebody else. So if I can help another kid not go through what I went through, the world is just that much better. And then also understanding that he used that situation to grow me, to strengthen me. So me wanting to get baptized is me putting the stamp and saying, hey, I'm not going backwards. I'm washing up myself, and I want you to lead me. Like, I'm letting you lead the way. Like, he's done so much, and I wasn't even faithful to him. So just imagine me just continue to be faithful to him, no matter if anything happens how I want it, knowing that it's going to happen based off of how he wanted, and then what I look like 3 or 4 years, 4 years down the road. But then also the seeds that I'll be planting into these young men. It's like, that's really leaving a legacy. Like, that's really expanding the kingdom. It's not, hey, how much money can I get so I can shine? No. It's like, hey, let me pray these prayers so not only my life changed, but the kids, the single mother, the community change. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, I'm definitely looking forward to getting married and tackling that. That's a whole nother beast. But then also, like, changing these young men's lives. If we really just abide by the principle that was in the Bible, hey, treat people how God treated us, the world would be a different place. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.